What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking an early look at our Week 4 NFL game picks, outright versus the spread, along with our locks of the week as we break down the Thursday night game between the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals. So make sure to tune in. If you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. And let us hear it in the comment section. Do you agree, disagree, along with any other questions you guys might have? We will do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let's get right into it. And for today's breakdown, we will be highlighting OddsJam one more time because whether you're an experienced bettor or someone that's just getting into it, you have to take advantage of the database of information that OddsJam is offering. If you're doing any type of line shopping or sports books comparisons, you can do all of that here at OddsJam, not only for the NFL, but pretty much for any other sport out there as well. And also take advantage of some of their other betting tools as well, like their positive EV tool, which shows you line discrepancy so you know you're getting the best odds, or their arbitrage tool so you can get those equal and opposite bets for a risk-free return. Link is in the description, so check them out. But with that being said, when it comes to the breakdown itself on Thursday night, we've got the Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Jaguars, yet again, winless at 0-3 this time. Now, to be fair, last week versus the Cardinals, they kind of hung in for a while, but then as the game progressed, simply put, the better team pulled away, and the Cardinals were able to get the victory. While the Cincinnati Bengals, impressive divisional win versus the Pittsburgh Steelers at 2-1. Now they sit, and honestly, the fact that they did it without T. Higgins, one of their better wide receivers offensively, makes it even that much more impressive. And to some extent, unfortunately for the Bengals, they're going to have to do it again without T. Higgins because he will not be playing in this game. So it will be Tyler Boyd, it will be Jamar Chase that are the focal points of this wide receiver group for the second straight week in a row. But again, obviously the good news here is in terms of the competition, the Jaguars are at one place, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers are at a whole nother level. So the point being is the Bengals won't necessarily probably need to rely on T. Higgins as much if they were facing the Pittsburgh Steelers like they did last week. And honestly here, even if they were without several key starters, I would still be giving the edge to the Cincinnati Bengals. The main thing here is how confident do you feel in them to cover the spread, which is at -7.5 for the Bengals. And I would still lean that way for the spread itself because there's a couple things that I want to point out here. One of the surprise things for the Bengals defensively has been their rush defense. And I think that's a big factor here because the Jacksonville Jaguars last week finally had some success getting James Robinson going. And while that was the case, they were in that game for a while, kept it kind of competitive. Then some bad turnovers came up, and then that's when the Cardinals really pulled away. But I don't think the Jaguars are going to be able to get that same type of performance from James Robinson 2 weeks in a row. And when it comes to this young offense, Trevor Lawrence, who's still learning the ropes, and Urban Meyer, a head coach who I continue to say is not putting his team in the best situations to win and just refuses to utilize James Robinson the way he needs to be. Last week was kind of the first week where we saw that. I think not having your running game, being at its peak like it was a week ago could be a problem and is going to put too much on the plate of Trevor Lawrence yet again, because other than Marvin Jones offensively at that wide receiver group, the other guys have been tough to rely on, whether it's DJ Chark or Laviska Shenault. It leaves a lot to be desired is the point that I'm trying to make here. And I really do think that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to, like every other team, try to force Trevor Lawrence to beat them. Now, I'm not saying that the Cincinnati Bengals defense is absolutely, otherworldly, but I think with the way the Jaguars have been playing, their opponents have been able to take advantage of them, force several turnovers, get after Lawrence, and I think we're going to see more of the same here. I'm not expecting a big game from James Robinson. I would be surprised if that's the case here. And for that reason, I think the Bengals are going to be able to control the flow of this game. Offensively, I give them the edge when it comes to the quarterback. When it comes to the weapons, defensively, I give them the edge. Head coaching wise, even though aren't the biggest Taylor fan, I give the edge to pretty much anyone over Urban Meyer at this point in time. So Cincinnati Bengals across the board here, in my opinion. I'm taking them outright. On average, the Jaguars have lost to opposing teams by at least 10 points. So on the spread, with this being at -7.5, I got to think that I'm riding with the Bengals to cover that number as well. The one thing is, it's a short week. It's Thursday night football. These games can be a little bit lower scoring, so maybe the Jaguars can hang in there and get that backdoor cover. That would be my only worry. So maybe you want to tease that number down to -5.5, something like that. But either way, I would be rolling with the Bengals here, money line and on the spread. But with that, we conclude this Thursday night breakdown. And as always, let us hear it in the comment section. Do you agree, disagree, along with any other questions you guys might have? If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us again. And once more, make sure to check out OddsJam to guarantee you are getting those profitable bets in. Link in the description. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.